So, Frank, how does the teaching with evolution fit together with the belief in God?
Whenever somebody talks about evolution, I always have to ask them, what do you mean by evolution? What do you mean by that? Because it could mean several things. It could mean change over time. It could mean microevolution, adaptation within a type, or it could mean macroevolution, the molecules to man philosophical view that we all got here through natural forces, no intelligence involved, we're all related ancestrally. That's what's called neo-Darwinism today. Obviously, the first two, change over time and microevolution, are true. We see that. But macroevolution is a philosophical system that has never been observed. Now, when you ask someone like Richard Dawkins, what evidence do you have that macroevolution is true? He'll say, the primary evidence we have, the best evidence we have, is that we have a universal genetic code, so this points back to a universal common ancestor. Well, first of all, that's not even true. There are about 25 different genetic codes out there. But let's just assume for the sake of argument that Dawkins is right. There is one universal genetic code. That is not the only way to interpret the evidence. Because the other possibility, instead of a common ancestor, is a common designer. There may be a common designer out there that has used the same genetic code. Why? Because we live in this biosphere where this genetic code works best. I mean, we see this with human designers. Most cars have 4 wheels or 4 tires. Why? Because it's the design that works best for the function for which we are created. Well, it could be the same thing with the genetic code. You can't say that just because we have a common genetic code that there's a common ancestor. It could be a common designer. You'd need evidence outside of a genetic code to point to a common ancestor. And actually, we have evidence against that. We have the fact that the genetic code appears to have limits to it. Even intelligent breeders can't break the genus of, say, dogs. That's as far as they can go. They can get as small as a Chihuahua and as large as a Great Dane, but they can't morph it into something else. Using all our intelligence, we can't do it. There's a genetic limit to change. There's also irreducible complexity out there, which Michael Behe made famous, that you can't gradually get from one type of system to another system and have function along the way. All the parts need to be there at the same time in working order for there to be function. And there's several other reasons why I think macroevolution is not plausible. But let me just say, for the sake of argument, let's suppose macroevolution is 100% true. Does that mean God doesn't exist? Well, no. God could still exist and still allow macroevolution to take its course. The natural forces that allow macroevolution to occur, if in fact they really do, still have to be sustained by an external intellect. There has to be something holding the natural forces together because they're so goal-directed and precise that even allow macroevolution to occur. I think if macroevolution is true, there's a problem with the Bible when it comes to biblical inerrancy, but that wouldn't disprove that, say, Jesus rose from the dead or that Christianity in general is true. So evolution is an interesting question, but it doesn't disprove God. First of all, you need a creation before you can ever get to biology. So you need a creator and a designer at the creation of the universe. This universe explodes into being. It's exploded into being with incredible fine-tuned precision. And there's so many things evolution can't explain, even if it were true. It can't explain the creation of the universe, the design of the universe, the creation of first life or the design of first life. It can't explain where objective moral values come from, where consciousness comes from, where the laws of logic and mathematics come from, how personality can arise out of non-personality, how mind can arise out of matter without intelligence. There's so many things evolution can explain. If it explains anything, it explains a very small piece of reality.